How I defend guilty people. I am constantly being asked what I do if someone is factually guilty and comes to me to defend them. So, first and foremost, I'm not a judge. I'm not the jury. I don't decide whether or not someone is guilty. If someone is factually guilty, that doesn't end my defense of that person. My job as a criminal defense lawyer is to make sure that the Crown can prove the allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. So the first step is to review all of the disclosure, which means all of the evidence that the police have gathered during the course of their investigation, and to make a reasonable assessment as to whether or not the Crown could prove the allegations against my client. Is there enough evidence to ID them, for example, as the person who is the owner or in possession of the firearm they're caught with? Is my client able to be identified positively as the person who committed a murder? If so, then that still does not end the defense. The next question is, why did they commit the offense that they're charged with? Because sometimes the reason that they're committing that offense in and of itself can be a defense. So, for example, provocation is a type of partial defense in Canada that would lower a murder charge to a manslaughter conviction. If the reason for them killing another person was an act of provocation or self-defense, for example, then these can also provide as absolute defenses or partial defenses, depending on the situation. So a review of the why can be equally as important as a review of the identification evidence. Finally, if there is absolutely no defenses available, the next phase is always to consider how we can possibly lessen the sentence. And so again, sometimes the reason can be a purpose to lower the sentence. Some people are in possession of weapons for self-defense, for example. Sometimes it's a regulatory offense. There are a multitude of scenarios that we can use to try to lower the sentence for a person. So despite the fact that someone may be factually guilty, they are always entitled to and deserving of a defense here in Canada.